Hello.
Hello.
We're Loops and Lapbars, and today we are here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Second visit this year, having visited at the very start of the year when Valhalla wasn't open, so that's the main draw for today. Getting on Valhalla, seeing what that's like. Heard really conflicting things. Some people are saying it's wonderful, some people are saying it's terrible. Make our own mind up on that one.
Yeah.
Been told. Sorry.
Yeah, we've just been through the new shop at the front of Pleasure Beach. Really good, really nicely laid out. They've got some really nice new merch in there as well,
Yeah.
Which is really nice to see.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of money spent here today, and it's nice to come back to the UK, having been in Europe, and see stuff for sale that's worth buying. Yeah, so we're looking forward to a good day. We've been told it's not going to be too busy, so fingers crossed it's not going to be too busy.
Yeah.
And we'll get on the ride, take along for a ride, and hopefully have a really good day.
Yep.
So we are currently sat in Coasters. First time I've ever actually been in here.
Yep.
And we've time is now just after 1:30. We've been on a few rides here and there, but we've been having a bit of trouble with queues and such. But first and foremost, apologies if the sound quality is a little bit different. I'm not allowed to use my microphone, apparently. There's nothing on the FAQs that I can see. And I don't know why they've said that you can't use external microphones, despite the fact that the camera has a microphone, mobile phones have microphones built into them. But anyway, I've gone for answers on that. We headed to Big One first, not open. So we then went to Icon. And Icon wasn't running until 10:30, so we found that we're losing time waiting for rides to be open, and that seemed to be a thing across the board. I checked the app, and at 10:20 there was it 6 rides or something like that?
Yeah, nine I think. 9 rides.
9 rides were open,
park.
which I think is a bit poor. But anyway, we got on Icon, and it's a bit dreary. It feels like that they made the coaster specifically, it's got to have 2 launches, and you don't really feel the second launch.
No, you don't.
Now we've been spoiled by the likes of Taron and things like that, and it's nice and smooth, of course, but it is also a bit juddery in places as well.
Yeah. To say it's not an old coaster yet, it's not even sort of 10 years old, it's a bit like, alright, do these jerks pan out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but definitely for me, I prefer Taron.
Yeah, I mean, they are night and day different, which is, it's not really fair to compare the two. However, Icon's good, it's just not great. That's why I don't rank it so much. And I rank Rita above Icon, and I will, like, up until that launch gets sorted. It almost feels like what they should have done was have the initial launch go faster, the top part go higher, and then the rest of the ride not need the second launch. It would have been a lot more thrilling then, in my opinion. But once again, that's an opinion.
Yeah.
So.
The only other issue we had with Icon this morning was got in the standard seats.
Which we didn't realise there was a difference.
Yeah, we didn't realise there was a difference, and the attendants were a bit too forceful, pushing the restraints down, and yeah, my hip took a knock this morning before they moved us to the back of the train.
Yeah.
To the bigger seats.
But after that, everything was sort of calmed down, and it was absolutely fine after that. But yeah, if you are on the larger side, the back of the train's where you're going to end up. So that's Icon.
Yep.
Once done on Icon, then we had a go
Steeplechase,
and Jesus, it shows its age, the Steeplechase, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just very rickety and knocky. Steeplechase is probably the steel single rail equivalent of Grand National,
yeah.
which we're hoping to get on a bit later on. But that's that one. And speaking of knocking around a bit, after Grand National, we eventually got on Big One.
After Steeplechase, we got on Big One.
Steeplechase. So down to Big One. This would have been about 11:15 or something like that, and it took them a while to get the trains loaded and sending them out. Trains were waiting 2 or 3 minutes on the brake run while the one in the station was dispatched. But we got on it. Its first stop is thrilling. The rest of it is very tired, isn't it? It's
yeah, it's very tired. The new sections don't really add anything to it, as we've said in previous videos, and the transitions aren't smooth.
Nah,
they're really, really jerky. Today we were mid-train and it wasn't too bad. It was for me as you come over the third hill into the back bit. And essentially we did one transition, I went one way and my spine went the other, and that was really quite painful.
Yeah, it is a shame, and it does almost feel like it's kind of curtains for Big One, because they keep doing work to it and nothing seems to be changing. I mean, it is 30 years old, so fair enough, and it's built on sand as opposed to being built on proper, you know, materials like
concrete.
No, like Nemesis and Shockwave are. But yeah, it's very, very juddery. And once we'd done Big One, we then moved on to Valhalla, which is very polarizing. I am going to go completely in depth into what we saw when we were in there, because I want somebody to respond and to see whether we got the full experience or not, because that's one of the things that seems to be passed around online, is that the ride gives you different experiences at different points during the day, because certain effects that work and certain effects don't. However, it was incredibly dull.
It was, yeah. The ride itself was really, really smooth, not too juddery, which was
It's a water ride,
really
it's going to
nice.
be like that, yeah.
So yeah, it was smooth. The properly dark sections in there, they were slightly unnerving, because it is genuinely pitch black and you can't see a thing.
But it
so
feels
that
like
was nice.
It feels like something should be happening there.
Yeah. And admittedly, as you go in and go up the first hill, it's nicely themed up. There's a bit of a story going on, and it's all nice. And then you kind of do the first little drop, and then it kind of disappears. The mid section of the ride is kind of, for all intents and purposes, it's missing.
Yeah, it's there was quite a lot of dark sections, and the sections that weren't dark, we were going past static displays, and I don't know, for the rave reviews that Valhalla got when it had its media opening day,
Yeah.
I cannot see how anybody can say that was that great.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the ride, you do what people are referring to as the Ring of Fire. Now, I was expecting a ring of fire. I don't know whether it was going to be a case that like fire went around the room or something like that, but there was just one solitary pillar of flames.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get quite warm off it, but that was it. And I'll be honest, I think it was crap.
Yeah, it was very, for the hype that Valhalla has been given, it's very, very disappointing.
You do get incredibly wet though, so it did live up to that. But moving on from that, because we were already wet, we then decided to do the other two water rides that they've got here, Rugrats Lost River Ride and SpongeBob Splash Bash, and I will be completely honest and sincere and say that they were both more enjoyable.
Yes.
I've done Rugrats before. It's one of the photos I've got, so it's quite funny. I'll put it up on screen now. That we went past the camera too fast and it only got me in the back. But yeah, we enjoyed those so much more than what we did Valhalla.
Yeah.
And there was no holds barred when it came to like Splash Bash. Everyone was just getting everyone wet. It was really, really good fun, and it's such a shame.
Because Valhalla looks really, really nice on the outside. They've done a really, really good job on the outside of theming it up. And as you go in, and like I say, that first kind of hill climb and the first little drop, it looks really, really good. And then they've kind of got to the middle of the ride and gone, bugger it. And then they've kind of, oh, actually, we're just putting a couple of bits sort of dotted around towards the end.
It feels... the thing that comes to me is Funfair Ghost Train, because there's effects in there that are better versions of what you'd get on a Funfair Ghost Train, like ghosts coming towards you and you can see all the mechanisms and stuff like that, and I don't know, it just felt so lacking. But that's I think probably about the most negative that we're going to be today, because I don't want to just be negative about Blackpool, because there's some great things here, but I wasn't impressed with Valhalla, and Big One really is starting to show its age. Icon being a bit dreary. It's almost getting to the point where it's like, I'm going to go on Infusion for something that's interesting.
Yeah.
But we've got some we've got food along the way. I've ordered a burrito, and you've got some nachos coming our way.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to those.
Yeah, on another front, it is nice to see the Onion back on the Big Dipper and to see that they have painted the ride all the way through as part of its glow up.
Yeah.
That is nice to see. It's making the skyline look nice instead of one down and rusty.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when that
they're going
opens.
to paint Avalanche next year.
Yeah, Avalanche is something we're going to hopefully get on a bit later on, but we'll get through dinner, let you know what we get on with a bit later on. Hopefully from this point forward it'll be on the up and up as we start to enjoy the afternoon a bit more, because we know what we've got coming. So yeah, that's big one, Icon, Valhalla, SpongeBob Splash Bash, Rugrats, and Steeplechase.
Steeplechase, yeah.
So we will carry on.
We will.
So, since dinner, of which we, as mentioned, I had a chicken burrito and you had your nachos,
yeah.
Which were quite nice.
Yes.
Did find that mine was a little bit on the bland side, but yours were really nice.
Yeah, mine were nice, mine were tasty.
And then we moved back into Nickelodeon Land and just finished off some of the rides that we've never actually been on, like Dora's World Voyage, Very Well Taxi Spin, which are exactly as you'd expect. I mean, Dora's was a little bit annoying, but that's just because it's not for us.
Yeah.
Farewell Taxi Spin was alright, wasn't it?
It was, yep.
Same as Jeremy Jets at Jane Manor. And then we did Blue Flyer and Nick Streak.
Nick Streak, yep. Both of them rode well today, and we were pretty much... Blue Flyer, we were pretty much a walk-on. Nick Streak, I think we were waiting about 15 minutes. We weren't waiting too long.
No, it looked longer than what it actually was. Blue Flyer is quite a wonderful little junior wooden coaster, quite unique in that regard. And then there's Nickelodeon Streak, which I think should deliver more airtime than what it does. I don't know if it's just me. I tried it at the back. We tried it near I had the front row this today, and it could do with a bit more ejector, in my opinion, because it just looks the way that it should. But other than that, that's those two. We then had a go on Revolution.
Yep.
Which Revolution needs more attention, I think, because as I've alluded to on social media, if you follow me, I've only ridden it 3 times, and each time it seems to get better. It just seems to be more forceful.
Yeah, it's a nice little ride. It's a Revolution. The only thing I don't like about it is the gantry is a bit too wobbly for my liking. I think, like a lot of people, I'd prefer a lot of them stairs to be kind of boarded up a little bit, so it's not so disconcerting.
On that, it's, as the train launches, it causes the whole platform in the station to wobble a little bit. It's nothing dangerous or anything like that. It just can unsettle some people because it's quite high up as well. But yeah, really like Revolution. It's nice and smooth and very forceful. And speaking of forceful, the last ride that we did that has pretty much killed us off, Grand National. I'm normally a bit of an advocate for Grand National in that it's kind of like the truest rough wooden coaster experience that you're going to get. However, today's ride was truly awful.
Yeah, I don't like Grand National. I find it too rough, and for the amount of jerking and sort of movement that you get in the cars. I know it's an old coaster, it's a heritage coaster, it's gonna be rocky, but it's not fun. I don't find it fun. It
has apparently had some work done on it, but I don't know if it has had any work done on it, because it just looks, it just rides so badly. You as you see the track coming along in front of it, it looks quite some like smooth, maybe just like a worn down version of Wickerman's track, but as it's going along, it's managing to find absolutely every bump it possibly can find.
And unfortunately, because it's got heritage status, they can't do anything with it.
Which is one of the reasons why you shouldn't list rides. But it's certainly one that is completely unique in how it works.
Yeah.
Because there is no other wooden coaster that I know of that is that sort of special kind, in that it's mega rough and really old, whereas you've got things like Roller Coaster at Great Yarmouth, which
is really old and smooth as butter.
I believe Roller Coaster's older, and I presume it'd be exactly the same for Dreamland Margate's Scenic Railway. They're older, and yet they're nothing like as bad. And Roller Coaster's faster. But that's those lots. We're pretty much at the end of the day now anyway. We're just sat in a quiet area just doing this little bit. We're going to head into the shop now and hopefully spend some money. Do a little bit of a wander around and sort of flick around with the merch, and then we'll advise at the very end. So we'll see you in a bit. Well, that's us done for the day.
It is.
Got through the merchandise shop, and I was intending to spend quite a bit of money in the shop, but I ended up not. And I think that's partially down to the way that Blackpool's been run today. I had fun, but it's not been my favourite day that we've had there. Everything just seemed to be not as good as what it could have been. They have to show off, don't they? Valhalla was a letdown. The lengthy queue times on some of the rides that didn't need to be lengthy. It just felt not quite as good as what it could have been. Yeah. Which is a shame.
Yeah, even though that though, it was nice to see they've got new merch in. They've got a lot of new merch as well. They've gone very retro, and they've got now a full retro line of stuff. They've got a few more unique bits in as well, like essentially like 1940 style bar art deco mirrors, which is nice to see as well.
And the coat hooks and the chopping boards and things like that. It is very nice to see. And I think it probably is second to none now with the merchandise.
Yeah, they definitely have got one of the better merch lineups in the UK.
Well, even for any park that we've been to, even the European parks, it was better than those, I think. Maybe they could have done with a few more body sprays and stuff like that, like everything had, but it's been good, but not great. And it's a bit of a shame, is that one, that we have to leave it on such a negative note. But that was Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We're going to be back there a bit later on in the year to try and get on Big Dipper when it's its 100th birthday, so we'll take you along for the ride on that day as well.
Aye, we will.
We'll see you then.
See you later.